science fiction movies of the 1970s gave us a look at an innovative but sometimes nervously surprising future. Hold on to your seats because you might be startled by my 5 strange sci-fi movies of the 1970s. Number 5, Soylent Green. Directed by Richard Fleischer and starring Charlton Heston, Edward G. Robinson, Lee Taylor Young, Brock Peters, Chuck Connors, Paula Kelly, Joseph Cotton, Stephen Young, Leonard Stone, Lincoln Kilpatrick, and Whit Bissell. In the year 2022, New York City is overpopulated by 40 million inhabitants. Like most places in the world, people deal with housing shortages and famine. The Soylent Green Corporation supplies processed food wafers for the population. After the suspicious murder of a Soylent board member, Detective Thorne meets roadblocks to his investigation, which he believes was an assassination. When others lose their lives and a hitman makes attempts on his life, Thorne's supervisor orders him to drop the case, which he refuses.
They want this case closed permanently. Their way. Now you sign this. You sign it!
With the assistance of an associate and a good friend, Thorne aggressively follows the trail, leading him to the mass secrecy within the government and Soylent Corporation, which some are willing to kill for. Number 4, THX 1138. George Lucas directed it, and it starred Robert Duvall, Maggie McComey, Donald Pleasance, Don Pedro Colley, and Ian Wolfe. Factory worker THX 1138 has been feeling distressed at his job and home. It seems that his roommate, LUH 3417, has been substituting his medications, which causes THX anxiety and increases his sexual desires. Unfortunately, they live in a world where free will is against the law and you must take medication daily to ensure constant compliance. The act of sex and reproduction is also illegal, as is loving someone else.
We are only here to help you.
Now that THX knows what it feels like to be off medications, he is desperate to find his mate and escape this dystopian nightmare for a better life. Number 3, The Andromeda Strain. Directed by Robert Weiss and starring Walter Hill, James Olsen, Kate Reed, David Wayne, Paula Kelly, George Mitchell, and Ramon Bieri. The military discovers that nearly everyone perished in a small town in New Mexico after a research satellite from space crash-landed.
There it is.
After a top-secret team gathers at a specialized underground facility, along with 2 survivors from the town, they discover that a microbe from space within the fallen satellite is responsible for all the deaths.
Jeremy, do you think maybe...
Maybe it's just a grain of sand.
What about the bits of green?
A pilot flying 23,000 feet over the town crashes because the virus's effects reach skyward and dissolve his plastic oxygen mask.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
Good God.
The scientists race to solve the secret of the ever-growing alien organism and discover why the two survivors are immune from its deadly effects. But are they already too late? Number 2, Time After Time. It was directed by Nicholas Meyer and starred Malcolm McDowell, Mary Steenburgen, David Warner, Charles Cioffi, and Geraldine Barron. In 1893, H.G. Wells, a scientist, invented a machine that would allow him to move back and forth through time.
This is the vaporizing equalizer.
After Wells presented his invention to his friends, the police arrive and say that one of the dinner guests is the notorious Jack the Ripper, who has been terrorizing London.
What did you say this man's name was?
Stevenson, John Leslie Stevenson. He's chief of surgery at St. Bartholomew's.
I'm afraid he's also chief of surgery in Whitechapel.
Wells finds that his suddenly returned time machine has helped Stevenson to escape about 90 years into the future. Wells has no choice but to follow Stevenson and force him to return to their time.
86 years.
However, once he arrives in San Francisco in 1979, Wells falls for a bank employee named Amy.
I don't know whether you can help me.
May I help you?
The entire voyage will only last about a quarter of a second. Well, we're here. Amy, you just
After
wait.
admitting the truth to her, they take a trip 3 days into the future, only to discover that Amy will be another of Stevenson's victims. Number 1, Westworld. Directed by Michael Crichton and starring Richard Benjamin, Yul Brynner, James Brolin, Dick Van Patten, Norman Bartold, Alan Oppenheimer, Victoria Shaw, Anne Randall, Michael Mickler, and Majel Barrett. Made to be amusement parks for adults, the Delos Company offers visitors a chance to live out their fantasies at either the medieval world, Roman world, or the favorite, West world. The parks are populated by robots programmed to please the guests.
Those two girls' machines. Now, how can you say a thing like that? Come on.
Technicians put safety measures in place to keep the tourists from harm.
Almost as complicated as living organisms. In some cases, they've been designed by other computers. We don't know exactly how they work.
What's his problem?
Nothing. He got shot up today, so we're taking the opportunity to replace the visual cortex.
Suddenly, malfunctions occur, from robots refusing to cooperate to a robot taking a guest's life.
Shut down. Shut down immediately.
Remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and check out my many other endless perceptions. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see in the comment section below. See you next time.